This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Virgin Islands police make a quick arrest in connection with a shooting over the weekend, thanks in part to the community stepping up to help investigators. 20-year-old Cuthbert Dabrio Jr. is facing lots of charges, including assault, robbery, and several weapons charges. They stem from a Saturday shooting in the subbase area where two victims were shot and sustained serious injuries to their leg, shoulder, chest, and spine. Investigators say thanks to a witness who came forward, they identified Dabrio as the suspect and put out a wanted poster with his information. They arrested him a short time later on Monday, and he's currently in jail under a $200,000 bond. FEMA obligates $30 million to replace the wastewater system on St. Croix. The Waste Management Authority will use the funds to start the architectural and engineering design work to replace the St. Croix wastewater system. The system-wide replacement is projected to cost $1.5 billion. Last year, FEMA determined that the damages caused by the storms in 2017, coupled with the age and deterioration of the island's wastewater facilities, a full replacement is the most cost-effective option to meet industry standards, stop frequent sewage overflows, and resolve the need for reoccurring repairs. The wastewater replacements for St. Thomas and St. John are expected by the end of the year. Top chefs hit the grills this past weekend at Megan's Bay for the annual Slider Showdown competition. And delicious sliders were the talk of the beach. A record crowd of more than 1,000 people came to the event, which is a fundraiser for All Saints Cathedral School. In addition to the award-winning sliders, there was entertainment, a raffle, music, and tons of activities, too. The proceeds from the event benefit the students and programs at All Saints Cathedral School.
How important is an event like this? It's extremely important because I want to emphasize the fact that tuition at All Saints is quite the competitor. So this event and events that help us to fundraise and put money back towards our students and assisting them in obtaining certain things, for example, instruments for the band.
I'm having so much fun, and it's so glad to see that these events that are raising money for the community are coming back this year. So I'm really looking forward to the next event, which is next month, so that we can raise even more money for our community.
The fried queso right here. You got the pickled onions. There's an amazing, awesome sauce under there, and your burger beef that's like juicy. You see the juice? It's juicing right now.
Thank you so much to everybody from All Saints Cathedral School, from friends, family, supporters, and community, the incredible sponsors who make an event like this possible, because all of this goes to helping support our children in this community, their education. It takes a village, like we say down here. So, all the blessings, thank you so much.
Yes, you got the whole soul of this city.
Cases of COVID-19 remain high throughout the territory. They've increased from Monday on all the islands. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 888 cases territory-wide, with 578 cases on St. Croix, 277 on St. Thomas, and 33 currently on St. John. After weeks of lockdowns in China, officials in Shanghai are pledging they will soon begin to ease the strict restrictions which shut down many factories. And experts say the stagnation there is also impacting the U.S. economy as American companies blame the shutdown in China for losses. Here's what this all means for you consumers. Weeks of lockdowns in China have left their mark, and American consumers are also feeling the impact.
It is going to be a painful time on prices from goods that come into America from China. And that's a lot of goods.
Economic data for April shows China's industrial output, what factories produced, fell by 2.9% compared to last April. Last month, the world's largest container port in Shanghai was running at about half its capacity. Companies can't find truck drivers to move cargo, choking off supply chains and increasing costs for companies. Experts say that's leaving American consumers waiting longer to get their goods and paying more for them.
Orders will take a lot longer. If you thought it was bad in 2021, it's going to get worse in 2022.
American companies like Apple, Amazon, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, and General Electric are getting hit hard by China's lockdowns. Apple says it could lose up to $8 billion in sales in part by the lockdown. And recently, two of the world's biggest automakers, Volkswagen and Toyota, suspended production for weeks. And Tesla sold about 1,500 cars in mainland China in April, made at its Shanghai plant, a decline from March when it sold 65,000.
Business needs predictability. Is it going to be 6 months, 9 months? We don't even know when Shanghai is going to stop the lockdown.
Meanwhile, U.S. hospitals are facing a shortage of contrast dye used in some X-ray, MRI, and CT scans because the Chinese factory that produces it was shut down for weeks.
And last month, Microsoft also said the shutdowns in Chinese production had impacted its supply for Surface laptops and Xbox consoles as well. And now to part one of a three-part series we're going to be bringing you this week here on USVI News, examining the training of United States Marine Corps recruits. Our USVI News' Ethan Kibbe reports on the chaotic first moments when recruits arrive at Parris Island in South Carolina.
It's graduation day for Company O. The culmination of 12 weeks of physical and mental training on Marine Corps Depot, Parris Island.
It's been 3 long months and I missed my family the entire time, so just being able to go back home to San Diego it's all I can ask for.
But to reach this moment, they had to begin here. With a midnight bus ride to a South Carolina island with one way in and one way out.
You come onto the base, head down, not able to see anything around you. Immediately, the bus just stops abruptly, and almost instantly a DI is on there yelling at you to get off the bus and telling you what to do.
It's 2 days of controlled chaos with almost no time to rest and a battery of paperwork and evaluations.
For the first day or two, honestly, it was probably the scariest thing that I've ever experienced.
It's a culture shock. Everybody's going to struggle with it because most people, especially in my generation, they're not used to being screamed at in their face.
Recruits make one phone call home. They get their new haircuts and they're moved into barracks where they'll spend the next 3 months. But those whirlwind first few hours are just the beginning.
And then I met my drill instructors. That is when everything changed.
Those drill instructors live with the recruits, watching and critiquing their every move. They break down each individual, then rebuild them into United States Marines.
I guess I felt like I wasn't good enough. That was the emotion I guess I felt. So if you can ask yourself that question, how would you feel if you felt like you wasn't good enough? But what that did for me was it humbled me because I thought I was more than enough.
It's a lesson in obedience, one learned through repetition and punishment.
The drill looks fancy and everybody's great. They're marching in step, and that's fantastic. But really what's more important is when we're being told to take the hill and the platoon sergeant says go, you don't question the platoon sergeant, you go.
A chaotic first week.
Never quit or give up.
But a crucial step in the making of Marines.
My eyes were open. I was definitely, I would say, like, I became a man on Parris Island.
Ethan Kibbe, USVI News.
Wow, kudos to those ladies and gentlemen. I know I certainly couldn't do it. And tune in Wednesday evening. Our series continues with a look at the physical and mental trainings that recruits endure, all ending with a 3-day survival challenge in South Carolina wilderness.